Hello, and welcome to the RPG Bookclub Have You Played Resident Evil Crossover event, the podcast where I ask my friend Sam if he has played Resident Evil. I am David Bernard Howe.
I am Maddy, and I'm no longer the center of attention.
I am Sam Allman.
Alright, so what we do on this podcast is we ask people if they've played Resident Evil, and I've been asking Maddy for about 6 or 7 episodes now, and she's always said yes, so I figure you're going to say yes. Have you played Resident Evil, Sam?
I tried, but I'm both scared and bad, so I stopped.
But it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's such a good game. You should play. You know what my personal hot take is? You should play Resident Evil.
Okay, I think I'll play Resident Evil. No, I plan on going back eventually, just with like a better brain about it, because I just I didn't know what I was getting into, and
right.
I was like, oh, let's have a scary fun time, but no, it's a scary stress time. And
it's a very stressful game. It's very, very stressful.
Yeah.
I will give you 2 tips. 1, don't play on hard mode.
Yeah.
I play on hard mode and I fucking loved it, but that's because it turns out it's my kind of game. You should play on normal mode. It's got plenty of fun, tense challenge on normal mode. And also, FYI, it kind of gets easier as you go.
Okay. Yeah,
There's an initial learning curve, and once you feel like you kind of got the deal. When I played on hard mode, I actually had to restart the game after an hour and a half of playtime because I was so fucked. I had no resources. I was in a jam. After I restarted, it was still difficult. I had to use my brain, but I had a handle on it. You know what I mean? I had a pretty good handle on it the entire game. So I feel like with normal mode, once you get past a certain point in the game, you're just like, I got this.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it's not as scary.
Yeah.
I think you do get. You get better at it as you go along, and also you get more guns and
Lots
better
more
guns.
Okay.
Lots more guns, lots better guns. And also, any successes accumulate, because if you start doing good, then you start doing more good, because you accumulate herbs and stuff, you know? Also, second tip. You were saying how, Resi 1, you also weren't 100% jiving with it, so you may not actually want to play it. But you couldn't play Resi 4 because it's too violent for a child to be in the room. Well, I agree with that. However, if the child is not in the room, you could just jump to Resi 4 because you will fucking love that game.
Yeah, that's what I was.
It's fucking incredible.
Thinking I might because on the Wii U you can make folders, and you also have 7 screens. I was going to put a folder on the middle screens, not all the way to one side, and just put all of my grown-up games there, so that she'd be less likely to just stumble upon them when she's looking for Mario or whatever.
All of your hentai VNs.
Yeah. No, those are all on the Vita.
So, Maddy, you mentioned Resident Evil 4. Have you played Resident Evil 4?
I have played some of Resident Evil 4.
Well,
It is one of the best action games that there's ever been.
yes, it is. That's not a hot take.
It's not a hot take at all. You're hearing it more and more. People said that back when it first came out, and unlike a lot of games which get buzz and everyone says it's the best fucking game of all time because it's like BioShock Infinite or something, and then after a month we all realized that we were in some kind of fugue state. People have not stopped saying that about Resi 4. People love it today just as much as they did when it first came out, and I see why. It's stands the test of time. It's an incredible video game. I am either at the end of chapter 2 or the beginning. No, I'm at the beginning of chapter 3, and I heard there are 5 chapters or so. I've heard the plot gets hog bonkers. So far, nothing's happened yet, so I'm guessing the later chapters have a lot more things happen.
Yeah, the plot is weird and absolute nonsense.
Yeah, I gotta say, I was reading some articles and criticisms of the game, and a lot of people actually did strongly criticize this aspect of it. And at first, I was like, "Who cares? Whatever. It's just a dumb game." But then I thought, you know what? Resident Evil 1's plot is actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's still B-movie pulpy stuff, but it takes itself seriously. and it does have an arc to it, and it does have a lot of tension, and compared to that, Resi 4 is like not. It is dumb nonsense, yes, but man, the shooting and the zombies are
They're not zombies.
they're real good. It is kind of funny at the very beginning. Actually, they explicitly say that right at the beginning. Do you remember? Right at the very beginning, when the first like weird, crazy Spanish cultist shows up, and Leon's like, "What? And then he shoots him. After you shoot him, if you click a button to inspect his zombie, Leon's like, or his body, Leon's like, it's not a zombie. And I'm like, it's actually kind of cute that but like.
Yeah, they made a big deal out of it not being zombies.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a fourth wall breaking thing. It feels more like, because Leon has fought zombies. He fights zombies in Resi 2. So he himself is like, oh, that's weird. I would have thought it would be a zombie.
Speaking of Resi 4, did you know that the prototype for Resident Evil 4 is Devil May Cry?
Yeah.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
I learned that yesterday watching GDQ.
Yeah, I knew that for a long time, and I was like, that's weird. I've played Devil May Cry 3, and I don't know, it doesn't seem that much like Resident Evil. But then I played Devil May Cry 1, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is totally Resident Evil, except you can jump really high and swing a sword.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's exactly Resident Evil.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's really amazing how in some ways divorced the mechanical and code elements of a game are, but on the other hand, how tightly woven they are. Like, on one hand, the same basic engine can build Link's Awakening or For the Frolic of Tolls or Resident Evil or Devil May Cry, and it's like, yeah, on one hand, it's like these are literally completely different genres. On the other hand, it's like, oh yeah, no, they're obviously clearly like have the same DNA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have weird things like Ocarina of Time and Super Mario 64 in the same engine, and that just doesn't make sense to me.
They are?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
It underwent heavy rewrites by the time that Ocarina came out, but
Obviously.
yeah,
I would assume.
there are screenshots of its development from when it was closer to Mario 64, and it looked a lot more like Mario, but it's still just nuts that they're in the same basic engine. But I mean,
And of course, I will say that, you know, the modern gamers are very illiterate when it comes to things like what's an engine.
yeah,
Even I'm not. I mean, even I'm certainly I'm not a professional game developer, but I am a programmer and a software developer who has had a job in that field and has a degree and shit. So I get probably a lot more than most people, but on the other hand, there's still a lot of stuff I don't know because I haven't worked specifically in the big budget game development field. So,
yeah. And one thing,
but like for me, like I can clearly see those two games and be like, yeah, no, there's obviously like they obviously developed these with shared DNA. That makes sense to me.
one thing that always bothers me when I'm trying to like talk with people like about say my my game aspect that I'm working on, like I will say, well, first I just got to get the engine built and then I can do everything else. And everyone's like, aren't you making it in Unity? Isn't that the engine? I mean, and I'm like, well, yeah, but it's not the engine for my game. It is the engine that runs my camera and it takes my input. But that's not what I mean. I mean, I need to talk to NPCs and open boxes and get inventory items, and then I can build the game.
Yeah, you see, sometimes you see people saying things like they won't play a game that's made in Unity because they're all trash or something, and
yeah. And my favorite thing is all of their favorite games were also made in Unity. They just are made by rich people that can remove the Unity logo. Like Hearthstone is made in Unity. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like, if you like Hearthstone, you like Unity games.
I mean, every engine that people dunk on has really high quality, cool games made in it. Like, there's tons of extremely high quality stuff made in Game Maker.
Yeah.
And then
The only engine I can think of where like the only engine I can think of that is a specific enough engine that it does like leave a stamp is RPG Maker.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And even
Like obviously,
and even then there's
RPG
some
Maker. You know it's RPG Maker.
and even then there's some legit ones made in RPG
Oh yeah,
Maker.
there's some great stuff being made, but it does have like a flavor.
Yeah.
Whereas like Game Maker, Game Maker can totally not have that Game Maker flavor if you really know what you're doing, right? Unlike me, who does not know what she's doing. But making games is fun. I should try it sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, also someone we know who makes great music for games on Twitter was like, man,
that.
I would like to start making music for games again. And I was like, man, wish I was making some games.
Yep. I actually got some really good ideas for games in the last here's a fun fact about me that I'll just share for pro of nothing. So I go to church. I follow a religion, and
Whoa.
you can tell. The funny thing is, the best days at church for me, aka the best if well, I mean, a day at church is a lot of things. There's, hanging out with your buds, there's fellowship, there's all that stuff. But as far as, like, the preacher giving a real good liturgy and having a nice church service, for me, a really, really effective church service where the liturgy is really saying something deep and thoughtful and stuff like that, it always gives me video game ideas. Most of my best ideas have come from church, and I haven't got a game idea at church in a while, but I got a real good one yesterday. Basically, the pastor will be explaining some theological concept or something that she's trying to express, and I'll be like, oh, I can make a game out of that.
It's like the opposite of I can make a religion out of this.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, again, it's happened a lot, and then I got a really good game idea a few days ago while playing Dragon Quest XI. It's I won't explain the whole idea, but I will say it's kind of funny. I got to a new chapter of the game, and the chapter of the game was In Search of Lost Time, and that made me think of the book In Search of Lost Time, of course, which is what it's a reference to. I haven't read the book, but I know a little bit about the book, and that gave me a game idea.
Well, it's appropriate that your other religion, Dragon Quest, also gives you game ideas.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I actually got that idea while I was at church in Dragon Quest. That's not true.
Oh.
Actually, no, because I was saving
See?
when I saw the title of the game's chapter, so I suppose I was.
Synergy.
Synergy, yeah. I'm never going to actually read Proust, but I will certainly name a video game after it.
Has anyone read Proust?
I don't know. I've honestly, from what I've heard about that book, I bet I would love it. I bet it owns.
Yeah, it probably does. I hear it's gay.
A lot of old-ass, million pages long classic literature sucks shit and is dumb, but some of it is outrageously good. And you're like, yeah, I see why this is famous. I have a feeling that In Search of Lost Time is the latter.
Yeah. The thing is, like, the canon is a really problematic idea, and it's really dominated by white dudes, of course, and it's like we need to focus on other stuff, but the thing is, most of it is still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am 100%
Like, it's not like it's
against the idea.
bad.
Yeah, I'm 100% against the idea of, like, yeah, let's all just lie to ourselves and pretend these books suck. Just for the sake of, like, like, why don't we just expand the canon to be more inclusive? You don't need to be knocking people down. That's stupid.
Some stuff needs to be knocked down.
Nathaniel Hawthorne can suck can suck shit. We can knock him down for all I care. But who else? Joseph Conrad. Fuck Joseph Conrad.
Yeah, I never read classics in high school or in college or anything because they just they didn't have enough like spandex in them, so I wasn't interested. And that probably makes me a fake reader, but whatever.
I'm sure they've made a 100-issue graphic novel series of In Search of Lost Time.
They have.
That's how as I was talking, I was legitimately like, I'm pretty sure they've done this.
Yeah, but they do that a lot. When I go to the library, like about half of the manga section is filled up with like manga adventures, the Scarlet Letter or whatever. And I'm just like,
Yeah, and
I hate the Scarlet Letter.
also, of course, In Search of Lost Time is, I believe it's French, and the French just fucking love their comic books.
yeah, which is like crazy to me because they feel so like, even though manga is gigantic, like comic books feel so American and tied to like truth, justice in the American way. But like meanwhile, everywhere else is just like, nah, we can draw pictures too, dude. Don't be racist.
And then you've got England, who only has fucking Tintin.
No, they also
That's
have
Belgian.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I hate Tintin.
And England has Miracle Man, the knockoff of
That sounds stupid.
the knockoff of Captain Marvel, which was a knockoff of Superman.
Yes, I read this big article by Susanna Polo about the history of Captain Marvel. It came out right before the Shazam movie, and it was wild.
Yeah, it's one of the best articles I've read this year. It's so good. So on GDQ,
Bernard, we had a perfectly sophisticated podcast, and now we got Sam here, and we're talking about comic books.
there's a Great Gatsby comic book. Do you want me to talk about that one?
Yes.
Meanwhile, at GDQ, they're running this game called Time Spinner, and it is pretty. It's a Metroidvania looking, but its art style is real good.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I hadn't
Me
either.
neither,
It looks great.
Remember back in the day, like, God, it's 2019, maybe 10 years or so ago, when the idea, when Metroidvania was a super, not exactly a niche genre, because Super Metroid and Symphony of the Night are very, very famous and beloved, but, like, they weren't making any new ones, and occasionally, very occasionally, you'd hear tell that some developer was working on a game that was Metroidvania, and everyone would be like, oh, that's awesome, that's so cool, yeah, what a great, cool idea to do a Metroidvania. And now it's like every fucking video game is Metroidvania.
Yeah. Where
I'm looking at it now, and it certainly looks like Metroid.
Yeah. It's
Except he's stopping time.
yeah.
That's not something Metroid can do.
Is he spinning time?
There's something spinning around him.
Yeah. You kind of fight with
Or
like
her.
I think
I'm
it's a
not
her.
sure.
And you kind of fight with like Zenyatta balls from Overwatch.
Maybe the title of the game needs a comma. Time, comma, spinner.
I hardly know her.
Because you got a time and you got your spinner.
But yeah, I remember when like every Metroidvania that would come out, I'd be like, oh, that's like, let me put that game on my backlog. Like that's something that I will want to do eventually. And now it's just like, oh, it's a Metroidvania. Well, maybe when I'm bored.
Yeah,
You might
you
as well
gotta
just say
be
it's a video game.
you gotta be selective.
Yeah.
So yeah, the big one, Bloodstained, just came out.
And I hear it's good but boring because of its setting and plot and stuff. Because
Yeah, I had zero interest in it because, like, fuck Igarashi, he sucks, and the whole project has been a big clusterfuck, and it's been stupid, and I don't know, maybe if you need fans to have backlash and tell you that your game looks ugly, maybe if you don't have enough intelligence and artistic conscience to recognize that your game looks ugly without having to have someone tell you that, you don't have a fucking vision for your game. But ever since it's come out, I kind of want to play it because everyone seems very surprised by it. Everyone I follow on Twitter seems to be like, hell yeah, this game owns.
yeah, like most people are saying the game owns, but they're just like, I couldn't tell you what it's about because I don't give a shit about like Gothic architecture anymore.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I watched some gameplay footage of it because I was curious, and one, it sure does look like Symphony of the Night and how it plays, and two, it starts on a boat, it starts on a ship, and I'm
Nice.
like, hell yeah, love ships.
Hell yeah, that's real good.
3, it was like really hard to see the character because like she's wearing this black dress and these big black boots, and her hair is black, and so you can like really only see her thighs and her upper arms.
Hot.
And she's like
parts.
she's like a reverse Rayman, and my immediate thought was this would read a lot better if she were naked. And then I was like, or she could be wearing a lighter color. Because
you got to start
everything
naked.
but her thighs just sort of blends into the background. And I'm not sure if that's a problem in the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Right. That's got me... See, once again, though, I feel like that points to lack of artistic vision. Because who is making a Metroidvania and sets the opening of it on a boat and does apparently not have the idea, wait a second, the whole game should be on a boat.
What morally
That's
bankrupt
obviously
person didn't make a whole Metroidvania on a boat?
As soon as you said boat, I thought Metroidvania set on boat. That is a brilliant idea for a video game.
We should make the boat Troidvania.
Hell yeah, I will make that shit. It'd be like a mixture of Metroidvania and like SOS.
Ooh.
Nice.
Have either of y'all played SOS?
No.
No.
Sam,
But you've told me about it.
Isn't it on the manifesto?
Maybe?
No, it's not. There's an ActionButton.net review of it, and it is also mentioned in the review of Dragon Quarter.
Yeah.
But it is not in
Yeah.
itself on the manifesto.
That's why it was
S-
familiar, because it was from the Dragon
and
Quarter
it's
review.
yeah. It is a brilliant game. I have not beaten it. It's too damn hard. I guess you could say there's a lot of games I love where you know, different kinds of games sure take radically different amounts of time to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like RPG, I'm like, yeah, this game's nice. I like it. I've poured 60 hours into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, like a game like oh, what's a good example? Some of the shmups that I have on my Switch,
Mm-hmm.
like what's the one? Not Soldier Blade. That's on PS4. Anyway, one of those Neo Geo shmups I have on my Switch. It's like, oh yeah, I adore this game. I absolutely love this game. I'm fucking obsessed with it. If you go to the menu and look at my playtime, it's like 5 hours. But that's because it takes like 5 or 6 or 7 minutes to play through the whole thing and get a game over because I'm bad at the game. So to me, like, yeah, I've played this game dozens upon dozens of times. Yeah, it took me 5 hours to play all those times. Anyway, SOS is the same way. I guess I've probably played it for 5 or 6 hours, but it feels like a lot.
Yeah.
Because the game takes 1 hour to play in its entirety.
Yeah.
And that's maximum 1 hour to play in its entirety. Probably less than that.
Yeah, I have so many games that like I feel like, oh, this game is taking forever. I don't really want to finish it. Let me go and save in case I want to ever come back to it. And it's like 1 hour 40. And then there are other games where I'm like, oh, I've played a lot today. Let me take a break. And it says 40 hours. And I'm like, oh, there went Tuesday.
Yep. Which, you know, the simple fact of how damn long RPGs take to play is you kind of push it out of your mind as a non-issue because you don't want to think about it, but it really is. Like our mutual buddy Harrison, he's like, I legitimately just have moral issues with the idea of taking that long to play an RPG, no matter how good it is. And I'm like, well, when you put it that way, you're making me feel like I've wasted lots of time on these things. And I agree to an extent, and that is why basically the only RPG that I give a pass for being longer than 30 or 40 hours is Dragon Quest and Persona.
Yeah.
Because to quote what I say about those games, being super long is, quote, part of it.
Yeah, and for Persona, at least, they like everything's still bite size while you do it. So it's like each palace is like 4 or 5 hours. Each day is like 10 minutes. Like it's all these little things. We were like, oh, it's cool. I'm just watching a television show. I'm not doing one thing that takes 100, or in my case, 200 hours. But like The Witcher, man, that's just 100 hours of doing stuff, and that's a lot.
I don't want 100 hours of doing stuff, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to be mad because the people that made The Witcher are making Cyberpunk, so I'm going to be doing 100 hours of stuff next year.
That shit.
I know. I shouldn't ever beat it. I should just play it and live in the world for a little bit and then be done. Spend $60 to play it for an hour and a half.
That's the way. That is the way. That is the proper way to engage in video games.
No, I will. If there is a way to, because like the problem with the Witcher 3, the main reason I didn't beat it is I couldn't just like focus on the main quest and then just explore the world after, which is how I did like Oblivion and Skyrim and stuff, and that's why I have thousands of hours in those games, because I could just do things that took 5 or 6 hours at a time. The only way that you can get experience in the Witcher 3 is to turn in quests. And your main quests are level blocked, so like they don't scale with your level. So you kind of have to be doing side quests the whole time. So it's just 100 hours of a video game.
I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it had that kind of structural element to it.
Yeah.
Most people, I figure, probably are naturally inclined to do a bunch of side quests along the way, so they wouldn't realize that that's an issue because it just dovetails with their natural play style.
Yeah, and it probably isn't like clear out the zone. It's probably like do 1 or 2 side quests along the way. All I know is my main quest was trapped behind level 10, and I was level 4, and I was just like, nah, I don't want to do this.
Trapped like you literally can't accept the quest, or like trapped as in you're gonna die?
Oh, I was following along with the quest, and I got into a room, and the door closes behind me, and it autosaves. And if I walk forward, I get into a fight with people that kill me instantly. So
Gotcha.
I had to reload an older save.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care. I'm not going to play a Witcher. I don't
I
care how good it
am.
is. This is the hill I will die on. I might play Witcher 1, because I heard it's bad and weird.
Yeah.
Which is my kind of game.
The Witcher 3 was was fun. I could not wrap my head around the proper way to do the fights, so I probably, if I go back and finish it, will just over level so that I don't have to worry about it, because like it feels like a Assassin's Creed / Batman / Spider-Man adjacent sort of thing, but like my reflexes from all of those games don't seem to work, so it's something else.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, something I'm really excited about, even though I can't participate too much, is, as you mentioned earlier, Sam, GDQs this week.
Yeah.
All 3 of us here are just total fucking sluts for speedruns.
Yeah.
And we love them. Have there been... What were some of the... Bernard, did you get to watch any of them yesterday?
Yeah, I watched a few of them. Donkey Kong Country 2 was really good.
Yeah.
Gosh. I am not a huge fan of Donkey Kong Country's games, but boy, the speedruns of them are always exquisite.
Yeah.
Yes. And they were doing all stages, so they did like the Lost World stages, I think they're called.
Yeah, that I didn't even know were a thing. Shows
I
how
wasn't
much
familiar with them.
Shows how much I suck at that game. I've played it since I was a
bonus
kid.
World?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do all the bonus levels and get all of the coins or something, it'll unlock these last couple of worlds.
Yeah, I obviously haven't played this either then.
Yeah.
They look hard.
I am so bad at finding bonus levels in Donkey Kong games that I thought that the green and blue balloons in Donkey Kong Country 1 that give you 3 and 5 lives were fake. I had never seen them anywhere because I never found any of the hard to find secrets. I just found the blatantly obvious ones.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Fun fact, the only Donkey Kong game I have 100%ed, and by that I mean like 103%ed or whatever, because those games are so fucking dumb, is Donkey Kong Country 3. Even though most people consider that one to be like, quote, the bad one. as a kid, I played the bejesus out of that game. Well, I say I and my older brothers together, right? But yeah, I remember the secret world of that game very well because those levels are bitchin' hard.
Yeah.
And we played them a lot. But eventually we did beat them.
Nice.
Donkey Kong Country 3 was the first game I beat all on my own.
Nice.
Which is weird because it's a very hard game.
Yeah. Beat as in, like, 100% it, as in, like, did the bonus world, including that one with, like, the little rocket?
I don't think I did the bonus world.
Oh, okay. Well, still, that's still pretty cool. It's cool as hell.
I'm trying to think what my first game I beat on my own was because
I don't actually remember.
my brothers are assholes. And I don't know if I've told the story on the book club, so you might enjoy this. So I love Ocarina of Time. Like, it's great. Oh, the answer would be Banjo-Tooie. That would be the first one I beat all on my own. Because it's wrapped up
How are
in
you
this.
such a baby despite being the same age as me?
I don't know. But, well, it's like when I tell this Ocarina of Time story here in a second, it will all make sense when you understand my older brothers. So I love Ocarina of Time. I grew up playing the shit out of it. I have beaten it about 20 times in my whole life. But the first like 10 or 15 of those times, I would get to the fire temple, save at the fire temple, and my older brother Bolivar, who also loved that game, was like, "Oh fuck yeah, the fire temple! I love it!" and play it and beat it and save. And so I never played the Fire Temple until, like, college.
Oh my gosh.
Well, to be fair, someone should have told you about this. You weren't missing much. Fire Temple is the worst one.
It's not good. I don't know why it's his fucking favorite.
It's not even bad. It's just completely nondescript.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you anything about either Fire Temple.
Yeah. Which, like... The best thing about the Fire Temple is when you first roll up and Darunia is just like, hey, I'm going to go punch this dragon, go and find the thing, and then at the end, when you come back and you fight the dragon, everything else in the middle is just Zelda Dungeon.
Which is a shame, because it's like, I love me a good lava level.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, hold on, back up.
Okay.
You buried the lead here. What is your brother's name?
Bolivar. Oliver with a B. It's a family name. Thankfully, I was...
That sure is... a name I've never heard of in my life.
Then you haven't been to most parts of Texas because the Bolivar Peninsula is down there. And
Texas has a peninsula?
it has a bunch of peninsulas. They're just small. Yeah, you don't...
That part's a joke. Huh.
But, yeah.
But you just have, like, a regular name, like Sam.
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't the oldest.
How odd.
I want to know what's the worst part. His middle name is Earl, the other family name. So, like, I'm surprised he's married.
Bolivar Earl. Also, that's not a good, like, combination of names either.
Nope.
I thought you were going to say his middle name was, like, Schmoliver.
Bolivar Schmoliver. I wish. He went by B3 most of his life. Because he's
That's
the
good,
third.
actually.
Yeah.
That's quite good, actually.
Yeah.
I dig that. No, Bolivar is like the kind of name I would use if someone's name was Oliver and I was like doing a meme and put that like emoji at the beginning of it.
Yeah, my grandpa, the one that cursed us with this, Bolivar Earl Ullman Sr., he went by Bob, and like, yeah, go by Bob. Like,
wait, if you don't like your own name enough such that you go by a nickname, why would you name your kid that?
Because Bob was named after his grandpa, whose was...
Oh, so he didn't curse you with it then. Okay.
Yeah, but he started this this legacy, because he also misspelled my papa's name. So Papa was AR, and from my grandfather down to my brother are all ER.
AR is a lot better.
Yeah.
Because with ER, it's just like, did you stick a B on the word Oliver? But with AR, it's like, oh no, this is like some like old-timey shit.
Yeah. And
it's like Balthazar.
Yeah, and what's great is, as you can guess, nobody could ever, like, properly, like, cold call us. And, because they would always ask for my dad and would be like, is Bolivier alimony there? And we're like, no, I can honestly say that Bolivier alimony does not live here. Yeah.
Sam, I did not know any of these facts about you. You live a charmed life.
I do. Also, speaking of Charmed, the television show, my father said that it was a devil show, and we were not allowed to watch it. And then he watched all of it.
Oh wow, Sam, we're from Texas. Whose parents didn't say that something was a devil show?
Right.
My parents didn't say that something was a devil show. I said it was a devil show and refused to watch it myself.
Yeah, it's actually great.
That's amazing.
I was way more strict on myself than my parents were.
I also did that, but it wasn't that I thought it was a devil. I thought things were devil shows. It's that I knew my parents would say it was a devil show. So it's like, yeah, I'm not going to bother with this one. This isn't going to pan out.
Yeah.
I will say though, I also did have a natural aversion. Yeah, I would see something about wizards or witches or whatever, and some part of my brain would be like, that's bad. Sometimes I would engage in it anyway, but sometimes I also would be like,
Yeah. I think probably the main reason why I'm more of a Digimon kid besides a Pokemon kid, besides the fact that television was free and video games are expensive and I was poor, so the TV show of Digimon is 10 times better than Pokemon. But besides that is...
That's true.
There was a chain letter in the going around emails in the 90s that I'm sure you guys remember that said that Satoshi was a Satanist and he was teaching kids how to summon Satan with Pokemon, and my parents 100% believed that. So I was not allowed to play Pokemon, but Digimon was okay.
I should ask my parents, because I actually don't know if they and their community got their dumb ideas from a chain email. I guess they probably did, because that's where old people get their dumb ideas.
And if it wasn't from the email, it was maybe from Sister Margaret, who they really trusted, who got it from an email.
So I know that in my community, there was certainly the great Pokemon schism of 1998 or whatever the fuck. I remember at one point my dad just walked up to my brothers who were playing with their Pokemon cards and very seriously was like, let me see those. And they gave them to him, and I think he took all the Pokemon cards and went into his room, and then a while later he came out and he gave them back the cards and he was just like, you can resume playing Pokemon cards. And I don't think he ever did that with the games, investigated the games. Thank God, because you actually do summon Satan in those games.
Yeah.
But anyway, I remember him getting in an argument in a movie theater after watching Pokemon the first movie with a fellow community member about Pokemon. So my dad was actually the Pokemon defender.
Nice.
And by defender, it's probably I don't get what this is, but my kids sure like it, and it seems fine.
Yeah.
No, the issue wasn't really about summoning Satan. The issue was about evolution.
Maybe so.
Maybe it's different in your community than
in
my community, but in my community, it was that it was promoting the theory of evolution.
Because that's how evolution works, is that one day you're a Charmander, and then suddenly you're a Charizard.
See, my dad probably looked at it and was like, this is just some dumb shit. This isn't evolution. And it was like, I obviously don't care. Oh, man. We sure cared about different things back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the pre-9/11 days.
Right.
After 9/11, everyone was too busy being racist and insane to care about witchcraft.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people managed to make time for both.
Yeah. Never underestimate the hate in people's hearts.
Now I'm imagining the kid who's has the same story as all of us about how their parents were so ridiculous and didn't let them play Pokemon because it was about summoning Satan. And how dare they? My parents are so ridiculous. Except actually the game they were playing was Shin Megami Tensei. And it's like, yeah, that's fair.
Well, that would have to be a Japanese kid, so...
That's
my favorite thing...
Well, maybe it's some, Japanese American or something. Their parents are, crazy, Texas Southern Protestant conservatives, but they also, speak fluent Japanese. So they have import games.
So my favorite thing that exists is so Dragon Quest V was the first Pokemon game, and then Shin Megami Tensei was the second Pokemon game. Well,
No, Shin Megami Tensei predates Dragon
Yeah, it
Quest
predates
V.
it.
oh well.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Maddie, then you lied on the podcast because you said that it was the first Pokemon. But
No, I believe I qualified it.
Okay.
As
so
such. Anyway,
yeah, those were the first two. Then Pokemon comes out, and Pokemon is so popular that Shin Megami Tensei tried to make a Pokemon game called Demi Kids, and I just that just tickles me pink that the OG is making a a fake of their copycat, which is awesome. Demi Kids, I
Yeah.
hear, sucks, and I want to play it.
No, my take is that SMT has been doing its own thing since time immemorial.
Well,
but
technically
Pokemon-
Megaton, because the originals were
That's
just
true.
Megami Tensei.
Yeah.
That's true. So Megaton's been doing its own thing since time immemorial. But I do definitely think that Pokemon, the creators of Pokemon, are, I feel like, probably a lot more influenced by Dragon Quest V than they were by Shin Megami
Yeah.
Tensei.
Definitely.
And also, if I had to guess, I would say Yuji Horii probably has no idea what Megaton is. Because he exists in his own little world.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Megaton's been doing its own thing since forever.
Yeah. Megaton's so good. I'm surprised that it took me until this podcast to play one.
I love
I've
Shin Megami
played a
Tensei.
number.
I'd love to play one someday.
Yeah.
They're so good. Everyone needs to play Nocturne.
Yeah.
You know, there is one weird thing about Japanese media in general, because yeah, my parents definitely were iffy or not, or even worse than iffy on some animes as a kid. And the issue is that the word demon doesn't mean the same thing
Yeah.
in Japanese or Japanese media. Like, demon doesn't mean an evil creature from hell. It just means like any spiritual being.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm simplifying it, of course, but like, you know,
Yeah.
you can have like good demons and bad demons, and your buddy a demon. Like, angels in Christian mythology would fall into the category of demon.
Mm-hmm. That's why in Shin Megami Tensei, all of your high-level demons are like Michael, the Archangel, and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, wow, look at this show that's all demonic. It's about demons. It's like, well, no, it's not. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
They're more like monsters. Pokemon, Pokédem, pocket demons, Digidemons.
Digidemons.
They could have called it that, and it would have essentially been the same thing.
Right now, I should make Digidemons. Just make my own Digimon game and just call it Digidemons.
In case anyone didn't think you were just ripping off of Digimon and Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah.
Digital Demon Saga. What if instead of calling them demons or devils, they were just called Satans?
Satans.
Oh my god.
I would play that game.
Calls were out in force this morning. Yeah, I would definitely like the more. Oops, too many Satans. All Satans, all the time.
Yeah, that's the appropriate number of Satans is all of them.
I guess it's kind of like that. What language is that weird Pokemon Crystal?
Vietnamese,
Is
I
it
believe.
Vietnamese? Yeah, what do they call Pokemon? Elves.
Elves.
ELF apostrophe S. I love that. They're all elves.
That's so good.
It's extremely good. I fucking love it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like translated into Vietnamese, then back into English
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah, I always forget that exists, and I always think it'd be fun to actually play it. Then I remember that A, it would take a very long time because it's an actual full-length Pokemon game. It wouldn't just be a dumb joke. And second of all, I forget that it exists. And then people post screenshots of it like once a year or so on Twitter, and I'm like, ah, man, this shit rules.
So
And speaking of Pokemon things that happen every year or so on Twitter, Pokefusions have been making the rounds again, and I always love when Pokefusions make the rounds.
yeah, I love
so good.
I love especially when artists take it as like a prompt and then like go ham on it because it like elevates it. Like just people sharing like just their sprites is like, okay, yeah, you just push some sprites together. But then somebody's like, no, this is what a Garbodor Pikachu looks like, and I'm like, fuck yeah.
Garbikachu.
Yeah. Give
one
me
of my
that trash mouse.
One of my friends sent me a picture of a mix of a Mr. Mime and a Voltorb, and it was called Mr. Orb. And I shuddered because of the word. Yeah, I shuddered because of the word orb, and I cannot stand GDQ memes.
I know.
What was the thing that they kept saying orb about? What started the orb meme?
Some game with orbs in it. I wasn't there for the beginning.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even worse than that was Kaboom.
Yeah.
I don't remember that either.
I don't remember Kaboom.
It was mainly during the Wind Waker run because there's the guy who goes kaboom.
Oh,
sploosh.
yeah.
And people just kept shouting it constantly. And every single donation read had it in it. And the
I remember that
reader
now.
was reading them very enthusiastically, and
Actually-
every time she read it, everybody else would do it, and I just couldn't take it.
See, I must have tuned in at the wrong time, because by the time I tuned into the Wind Waker run, they had all stopped doing Kaboom and were now doing Pausa.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember the pause.
That run is phenomenal.
Oh, it's so
actually.
good, man.
Yes, it was. I was so excited for it, and then I just could not watch it.
Yeah.
Mario Maker's happening on Friday.
Oh yes, I'm so excited for Mario Maker.
I love it.
I'm not going to be playing it on Friday, but I will probably be playing it on Saturday. Well, actually, my life is in shambles right now. Hopefully, I'll be playing it by Monday.
Yeah. So I am jealous of everyone's going to be playing Mario Maker 2. So I got Mario Maker 1, and it makes you wait real world time to be able to do things, and that's
It's weird.
That's bad.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
It's weird. It's dumb.
that's real bad.
Nintendo sure is weird.
And so, like, I was going to go in and, like, make some things, but literally when you start, you only get floor and solid blocks and bricks and item blocks, and you don't even get fire flowers. You just get mushrooms, and then you get enemies, and that's it. Like, you can't make a game with that.
I mean, you can make a shitty game with it.
I know. So I made a shitty game with it.
Good.
I did one that looks like it's a horizontal stage, but it's a vertical stage. And so you get to a part and you're like, how the fuck do I do this? But if you jump on top of a thing, you can tell that, oh, I'm supposed to go up. So that's the most I could think to do with that limited tool set.
My favorite level that I made actually was a sort of similar thing. My favorite level that I made was themed after climbing up a mountain. The problem is that you can't actually do vertically, like, super tall oriented stages at all. It's not a thing supported.
Yeah.
So I took the horizontal stage, made it as wide as possible, and basically made the stage like into a series of individual screens where every time you enter the screen from the bottom through a pipe and exit the screen through the top from a pipe, and then you go to the next screen and you come from the bottom of the pipe, so it looks like you're going up and up and up and up and up, but of course you're actually progressing horizontally through the stage. It took a lot of work because I had to make it I actually had to make it where you couldn't see the other sections ever. So I had to put them far enough apart that you couldn't see them. Also, since you're climbing up a mountain, I would have to paint in the mountain blocks far enough so that your camera wouldn't see it suddenly stop and break the illusion. Funny thing is, I put so much effort into that, and I felt so proud of it, and it was such a labor of love, and it was also a stupendously good level. I thought it turned out great. And it's funny because now Mario Maker 2, it's like, oh yeah, I wouldn't need to put in that effort at all. I can just make a vertical level.
Right.
Yeah, there are vertical levels, and also when there's a wall, it stops the scrolling.
Which is real cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. So yeah, I'm probably going to remake the same level, except it'll be a lot easier.
Yeah. I really am excited to play people's Mario Maker 2 levels in about 3 years when I can afford to finally get it. Like me right now with Mario Maker 1.
Yeah. I'm so glad that I bought a Switch back when it first was on sale because at that time in my life I had enough money to buy a Switch.
Yeah.
But now I don't. But I already have one.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. I'm really
Love
glad
to
that I
have
have
a
this
Switch.
thing. Honestly, so the prices pretty much haven't gone down at all because it's Nintendo. But used prices pretty much also haven't gone down at all. So there have been a few times this last year where I was so tight on money where I was like, the only thing I have of value is my Nintendo Switch. Like, if I needed an extra $300, I could sell my Switch and all my games, and I would like cry a river of tears if I had to do that. And I never had to, thank goodness. But I came very close on many occasions.
Yeah, I to like squeeze out rent a couple of times. I basically have like my systems in like 6 PS4 games, and that's all I have physical. But I never sold any of my systems, and I'm glad because now I hacked all of them, and so now I have all of the video games again.
Yeah. The problem is the game consoles don't actually sell for nearly enough money to justify the emotional value of them.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I would sell them. The PS4 is an OG PS4, and it's pretty old, so it just wouldn't sell for that much.
Yeah.
All my old consoles, though, like my NES, my Saturn, like, yeah, I could sell them, but I get like $50 for it, which is not going to actually put a dent in
Your
rent.
stuff, yeah.
And I'm going to be very sad, so it's like not actually worth bothering.
Especially because like that's my 360. So like, yeah, the only reason that 360 is around is in case one day I'm like, you know what, let's play some Jet Set Radio today, because every other game that I care about has been ported to a newer system that I have. But
Yeah.
I don't want to get rid of it because that's like, it has my stupid ass Mass Effect faceplate and a Blink-182 sticker on it. Like
Oh, don't even get me started on stupid ass faceplates.
I miss.
I do have my Hori fighting stick. That could sell for like $100.
Yeah, but it's like I don't want to get rid of my 360. That's like the only one of my systems that I still have after the hurricane. Like everything else, I'd put in a box because surely it would be fine, and it was not fine.
Yeah. That's why I feel. Actually, I still have the same NES that I've had since literally before I was born.
Yeah,
Well, I don't remember when my family got an NES. I think it was when I was born, but when I was still like a precognizant baby, was when we got our NES. And I've replaced the 72-pin connector.
nice.
Only once. I've only had to replace it once. And yeah, it still works. It's a great little box. I hope I never have to get rid of it. Oh right, first game I ever beat. So yours was Banjo-Tooie, or Bernard's was
Like
Donkey Kong Country.
I'm pretty
2?
sure it's Banjo-Tooie. It might have been
3.
Sonic 2 with cheat codes, but I don't know if
Oh
that
god,
counts.
no. When I was a kid, Sonic games were always my white whales. Because I didn't have a Sega, so I would play them at friends' houses, and I was like, I love this game. Also, it's very difficult. Because it is.
Yeah.
First game I beat, honestly, probably Mario 3. Mario 3 is also hard.
Yeah.
I have a lot of memories of not being able to beat it as a kid, but I also know that at some point I did beat it, so that's probably the first game I ever beat. What other old NES games are there? Let's see.
Speaking of Mario 1, I beat it on Switch like a couple of weeks ago, and the more I think about it, I think that's the first time I've ever beaten Super Mario 1.
Most people haven't. It's a beautiful game. It's a wonderful game, and it's worth beating.
Yeah, I think I would use all of the warp pipes and everything, but get to 8-2, which is the one that has like 2 Lakudus at once and all of the other bullshit on it, and I just want to get past that. So
Did you beat it without any kind of saves coming?
Oh no, I 100% save scum.
Oh, never mind.
Because I was
No,
because like
well,
getting
here's-
back to that point is trivial. It just would take time, and so it's like
Well, no. See, that's why you're having trouble. The way that you beat Mario 1 is you don't use pipes, and you know why?
because then you'll be prepared for it. Yes.
You'll accumulate lives. Yeah. First time I ever beat it was like, no, World 8 is so stupid hard that when you get there you need to have like 12 lives.
Yeah. It's
And
crazy
the only way to
hard.
do that is to play the game start to finish, which means you also get a lot of practice playing the game. Also, guess what? Worlds 1 through like 5 or 6 are not that hard once you really get used to it.
Yeah.
The game has a very, very gradual difficulty curve that sharply spikes at World 7.
Yeah, I think traditionally I have done the play it straight, and I think I got to like World 6 or maybe 7 playing it straight, but I never beat it straight, and I never beat it cheating, so I finally beat it cheating like 2 weeks ago.
Nice. Yeah, I did it for the first time in college. And I quote unquote cheated, but it was Lost Levels, so Lost Levels has save scumming built into the game.
Mm-hmm.
I did save scum cheat my way through all of Lost Levels.
Which that's Lost Levels, so
on Mario All-Star.
So
yeah.
my brother, Michael, also has a normal name. He had never heard of Lost Levels, and so I was going through to go to Super Mario Brothers 3 when we were hanging out the other day, and he was like, "Wait, what's that one up there?" I'm like, "Oh, that's the Lost Levels. It's super hard." He goes, "How hard can it be?" And I'm like, "All right, here, take the Joy-Con." And he was like, "Yeah, let's go to Mario Brothers 3 after like a minute." I
Lost
love
Levels is also a game that everybody should beat from start to finish. It is an incredible game, and it is fucking bullshit.
My favorite thing is they made it so bullshit that like the NES lags and like some of your the mobs like flicker out and disappear because they've reached sprite limit in level 1. That's not even something like
Oh my gosh, I wasn't aware of that.
In most like NES games where that's a problem, like that tends to be a thing in like, oh, here's going to be the hardest room at the climax of the game, but they're like, nah, here's like 17 Goombas and 6 Koopas all with wings, so fuck you.
Yeah.
When I played Lost Levels for the first real time where I like got past level 1, I was really surprised by how much it reminded me of Mario Maker.
Yeah.
Well, what I love about Lost Levels is that, first of all, it's a game that only ever needs to exist once.
Mm-hmm.
It is like Lost Levels is Nintendo seeing how far they can really push this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And finding out how far, and after that they never did it again because they're like, no one wants to play this. But they had to do it at some point.
Yeah.
And I do think it's brilliant. I do not think it's actually bullshit. I think that it is intentionally, it's clever and it fucks with you, and it is a motherfucking bastard because, as far as I can tell, what's his name? Oh no, how could I forget his name?
Miyamoto?
No, Miyamoto didn't make Mario 2.
Tezuka?
Tezuka, yeah,
Okay.
Tezuka was the director of it. Tezuka is a motherfucker who cannot be trusted to make games. And I mean that as the highest compliment. And yeah, it's just like, oh, okay, so the mechanics of Mario can be used in these ways. Turns out you can make this degree of difficulty, and the game does not fall apart. That's the thing; it does hold together.
Mm-hmm.
So after this point, Nintendo's like, oh, okay, Mario could 100% be this. The mechanics do support this kind of play. It is engaging. It's not a glitchy mess. It's also not a nonsensical mess, like thematically or structurally. It is actually a coherent, engaging, well-constructed video game that is at this level of absurd difficulty. So ever since, they've just said, we are just choosing not to do that.
Yeah, and I think...
We do not want to make games that are that hard, but we totally could.
And I think they took, like, how you can push the Mario formula into Super Mario Brothers 3, because there's a lot of, like really hard parts and, like, stuff like that. But it's not, like, let's just fuck with the player for 8 worlds like Lost Levels was. Like, they and then they go and they have the thank you levels at the end of every game since Super Mario World, and those are similarly just fuck you Lost Levels type, but it's there when it needs to be and not just the whole damn game.
Exactly. Yeah, they use those ideas in moderation. Have either of y'all beaten the secret bonus world of Mario World?
No.
I think I've played it and maybe like seen all the levels through save scumming.
I have played that game probably more than any other game, and I could not tell you what happens after the underground world. The third one.
What happens at the underground world is that's around the time you unlock all the Star Road levels and just warp to the end.
But yeah, I think after the underground is the forest, but
No, actually, it's the Cheese Bridge, which is the best world in the game.
Yeah,
the bridge zone, all levels are bridges. You got all the levels with the tracks where platforms go on tracks, which is the best thing in Mario games.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I need to go back I just did with Mario 1 and one day actually beat Mario World.
I know, now that I think about it, I know I 100%ed Mario World, so I suppose I have done all the Star Road levels.
Yeah.
The Star Road levels are fantastic. I don't super duper love Mario World, but every one of those levels is amazing. The very first one I think is a forest level, and I fell in love with that level. I would speedrun that level basically. Before I really knew what speedrunning was. What happened is the level's very hard. So by the time I actually beat the level, I was basically speedrunning the first 2/3 of it.
Yeah.
Because I'd played those parts so many times, I just knew perfectly how to zoom through them and make these super tiny pixel perfect jumps where I hit an enemy where if I was one pixel, an enemy is in midair and I'm also in midair, and if I was one pixel lower, I would hit it and die. But since I'm one pixel higher, I bounce off of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Super, super, super fine timing and spacing for 2/3 of the level, and that just naturally happened because I played the level so many times trying to beat it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. It's great. Are there any Mario World runs this time around?
Probably. There usually are, but I haven't checked.
SGDQ.
Let me bring it up. There was a Mario 2 run, which was fantastic. There's Sunshine.
Mario 2 as in Doki Doki Panic Mario 2?
Yep.
God, what a beautiful video game.
There's a Super Mario World blind relay race.
Yeah.
What does blind mean?
No, y'all.
I think it's though I don't know. I was looking at all those people on it. It could be blindfolded, but it could also be a a Kaizo hack or something.
Yeah, I'm guessing,
but they
not.
They always have the title of the Kaizo hack.
Because there's also Grand Poo World being played by Mitch.
I'm curious as to what this is. Absolutely. Also, I realized I missed Blaster Master this morning.
There's also a 96 exit run later in the week.
In my mind, that sounds like a dumb bullshit idea, but maybe it's awesome.
What, 96 exit?
Yeah.
That's just the 100% category. It's just an hour and a half of kick-ass Mario action. It's the hot category.
Oh, okay. But I just mean it does require replaying. Well, it just requires playing levels multiple times and stuff, which is weird.
Yeah, but it's because Ace was found for Mario World, so Mario World any percent runs suck because they take 3 seconds, and so you have 0 exit, which is Ace. You have 11 exit, which is Star Road, I think, and then 24 exit, which is the classic any percent. But then 96 exit is where all the fun is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably awesome to speedrun. As far as a regular game, the thing about Mario World is it's actually got a lot of stinkers.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of levels that are kind of boring.
My
but
favorite.
I'm sure if they're speedrunning, they'd be less boring.
My favorite thing for Super Mario World is it looks like a Super NES game, but it was made like an NES game because you feel like all of the worlds are so different and so vast and everything, but there are 2 different backgrounds that they just palette swap and only one ground for the entire game that's just palette swapped, and all of these things that doesn't even feel like it because they're good palettes.
Thus starting the classic infuriating Mario tradition of world themes basically just being the world map.
Yeah.
Mario games do a very bad job of sticking to the goddamn theme.
Yeah.
And it's actually stupid.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, in the best Mario game, Super Mario 3D World, there is a Plessy level in the ice world, which doesn't make sense. You don't have a water world.
3D World has like, you get to Bowser's Castle and there's like levels that don't have lava in them.
Yeah.
It's silly. To the secret bonus next world where it's like Bowser's theme park, and there's literally one level that has that theme.
Yeah.
One of the Bowser's theme park levels is at Bowser's theme park. The rest of them are just normal Mario shit. Yeah. I think there's like an ice mountain and stuff, and I'm like, but that doesn't make sense. Mario game, I care so much about your world building. You need to be more consistent with your world building. I just can't get invested in this fiction.
I just have the thought in my head that like because like if you rearranged all the worlds, there probably would be enough lava levels to fill Bowser's Castle, etc. And I imagine somebody went and they're like, all right, here's the game. They're like, yeah, this level's too hard for the beginning of the game. Can you move it to Bowser's Castle? But it's just riding Plessy down like a waterfall. How is that Bowser? And they're like, yeah, it's fine.
No, that I honestly do think that what happens is when the game's getting closer to completion, they like reorder the levels based on difficulty.
Yeah.
I think that might be part of it. Yeah, where they're like, oh, we're putting this level later on because it's too hard. We don't care if it's off theme.
Yeah. Can you believe that there's a story mode to Mario Maker 2?
I'm excited about that.
That sounds so dope.
Shit about it. Yeah. Yeah.
I hope that the levels are like good and not just weird like tutorials showing you what you can do with the items. I hope they're like actually legit good levels.
Yeah, I have a feeling that it'll be like they will allow some Mario Maker bullshit to show the tutorial part of it, but they will also be good because these are the people that made Super Luigi U, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Here's what...
Man, I wish they'd make a new Super Mario Brothers, because those games got good.
They should definitely change the name if they do, though. I'm tired of New Super Mario Brothers. It is an incomprehensible order of games that happened. Like, it's just... Like, I still can't wrap my head around which ones are remakes and which ones are ports and which ones are new games.
Yeah, it's dumb as hell. Here's what Mario Maker needs. It needs a series of tutorials, and levels could be good, but also like actual maybe like videos made by Nintendo, where Takashi Tezuka and other people explain to the frothing hordes of morons who make up the Mario Maker community and teach them how to make good levels. Not bullshit levels, actual regular good levels, and then say, now you try it.
I would love...
I say that as someone who has made her fair share of bullshit levels.
I would love if like the first when you go to upload, it's like, does your level play itself? Is your level a Kaizo level? If so, you can't upload it. Just tell it to your friends. Send them the QR code. You can't actually put it online.
Yeah, or like, is your level just like the kind of level where if you're playing 100 Mario Run, you're doing maybe you're me. You're pretty good at Mario. You're doing pretty good. You're accumulating lives in a lot of these levels, so you've gotten more lives than you started with, and then you get to like level 67, and it's just the biggest horseshit imaginable, and you blow 100 lives on it.
Yeah. I was watching a video on somebody that was trying to make a truly impossible Mario Maker level, and the only way you can do it is they patched out a glitch at one point. So if you make the level before you patch it, and play the level to verify it, but it hasn't sent it to the system because you haven't patched, then go and patch and then send it to the system, and you build your level relying on that glitch, then you can make it undoable. And the guy was like, I did that, and then immediately stopped because like no one, like I don't want to fuck up 100 Mario runs, but yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that glitch and that you could do that. I forget what the glitch actually does.
Me too.
But yeah.
But
Didn't Nintendo at some point start making you have to like re-verify levels?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Well, they should. They should make it where like if they do release a new update that fixes glitches and stuff, you should have to revalidate.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe give you a pretty generous timer, you know,
Yeah.
like or maybe even put a little note on the level that says, "Note, this level has not been revalidated."
Yeah, that would be smart.
Something like that. And then, of course, now you can actually leave like comments and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you can put notes so people can be like, "Hey, this level's horse shit."
Vetoed this level.
No.
Well, my friend.
Man,
Oh, go ahead.
vetoing reminded me, back in the original Mario Maker, I made a Bernie 2016 level. Never got taken down. And,
You better make a Bernie 2020 level.
well, what if like he drops out of the race in the next 3 days?
Then I'd be real. Then I would have lost the will to live.
It'll say Bernie 2020 or Warren. She's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I liked that. That was like the first level you made, I think.
That's good.
Oh, good
But
times.
what my
and
friend-
then there was a secret area where you fight Trump.
Oh yeah,
He was represented by Bowser with a bunch of coins.
I should definitely make. Well, we sure. Things sure were different at the time.
All right.
Yeah, that was funny then.
That sure was a fun joke that we all joked about and didn't think would actually happen.
Yep.
Oh, times.
But what my friend
Oh,
Nathan.
to be young again.
What my friend Nathan would do on Mario Maker is he would make levels that are just barely horseshit, but not impossible. But he would make sure he could play each part, and he had like a debug room hidden with invisible teleport blocks behind you where you start, so he could go to each part and play it and make sure, and also had one that teleported him to the very end so he could do it. So like if you ever got his level, just jump randomly behind you and you'll probably get it.
So like
But
he himself did not have the skills to beat each part of the level in succession in one attempt, but he knows it's physically possible to do
Yes.
so if you're real good. That's actually a really clever way to make levels for people that are better than you
Yeah.
at Mario.
yeah,
Huh.
just make sure your debug room is like much hidden.
Is well hidden. Yeah.
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 So people don't think like, oh, what's this block over here? And then
So when
I
you
would
get-
hide so many things in my levels, like so many areas. Like if you jump off the left side of this level, and you can't see the platform, but if you jump off the left side, you find this really weird area. No one ever found them, of course. I didn't like find any people like. Because you can see where people died and see any deaths over there, so I figured no one ever found them.
Dude, one of the most fun things about Mario Maker is looking at where people die because it always surprises you. People manage to die anywhere in your damn levels, and you're like, how? There's not an enemy there. There's not a pit.
Maybe-
How did you die in that particular
maybe
location?
timeout.
Yeah, or people will just die in a pit, but it's not like they had to jump over a pit. It's like the edge of the level was a pit, and they just could have easily not fallen into it, but they did because people are stupid.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I left my fair share of absolutely inexplicable death tokens or whatever. Sam, if you're enjoying Mario Maker 1, you should not only check out mine and Bernard's levels if they are still uploaded, but even better, you should totally check out Harrison's levels.
I
They're
have
good.
heard that they are great.
They're like there are a couple that are real levels and they're very good, and it makes me upset because I try so hard on my Mario levels, and then this idiot friend of mine who's just incredible genius artist and is better than me at everything makes better Mario levels than me. But no, most of his levels are like weird, like ambient exploration levels.
Nice. Love
It's
that shit.
really cool. Like you're like one of them. Maybe the best one is like you're in a big cave, and it almost has like a Metroid feel to it. But there's like no enemies and very very few ways to die. Like maybe you can die. Like it might be possible to fall in a little pit here and there, but the pits are there for aesthetic reasons, not for not as challenges. And you just like go around and explore and soak in the mood. It's really cool.
So, because I was just thinking, because you mentioned Metroid, like, what if you legitimately made a Metroidvania Mario level, but
People did shit like that.
using like power-ups, but also power-ups fucking suck, and you can lose them really easy, and I don't think there's a way to make it like respawnable power-ups to fix that.
I know people did Metroidvanias where like you have to get through one area to like get the fire flower, then you go back through the area and you get a different power up.
Yeah, they did a lot of cool stuff with that. And then, of course, later Nintendo added, like, keys and stuff like that. I wasn't really playing the game after they added all that stuff, which is funny because, like, that opened up so many options. But it's like, I already kind of made all my levels. I already kind of shot my shot. I can't wait to see all... So, the old Mario Maker community, again, thrived off of not just... I don't just mean bullshit glitches. I just mean, like, weird edge cases that people found about the mechanics. And they made all these levels, and it had a whole community based on making these really weird levels with mechanics that they discovered as part of the game. Nintendo, I think, in many ways, is probably going to be getting rid of a lot of that stuff by fixing glitches, simplifying some of the mechanics, probably getting rid of a lot of those weird edge cases, and thus making it where the community can't do cool stuff like that anymore. But what's going to happen?
We're going to find new shit.
The community is going to find new weird bullshit to do. A whole new world of weird bullshit that replaces the old weird bullshit, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
Because if there's one thing we know about gamers, especially certain kinds of gamers, such as speedrunners or Mario Maker fans, is they will always find the weirdest possible bullshit they can do with a game.
You know, specifically with speedrunners, I'm always surprised when I'm watching a run of a like 20-year-old game, and it seems like always there's a part where they're like, yeah, I'm going to try this new strat. It was found about 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, this game's been around for 20 years, and you're finding stuff 2 weeks ago?
So the final...
It's so cool. Crazy.
The final Doom speedrun last night, they said that the first completed speedrun of it was in 2014. No, it was 2014, which is some like 19 years after it came out. Because
that's wild.
Yeah,
that is hog bonkers. I love that. You know, now that I think about it, Sam, you know, we've had a few conversations about how my view of like games is just kind of a little unusual. I think watching so many speedruns might have been a crucial part of it. Like, when you watch speedruns, you see that, like, you start to see games as holistic objects and not as linear experiences. You know? You see, a game is both the story, like the narrative of the game, if it's a narrative game, and the level design, but it's also the code, and it's also the glitches, and it's almost like, instead of learning to interact with it, it's like fucking Dr. Manhattan. I don't know, like where you see all of time at once. You know, instead of seeing a game as a movie, you see it as like almost like a still painting, and you see this as a machine that you can pick at and interact with and experience, and as an object, and the passage of time, and again whatever narrative is attempting to be told, is part of that singular object, but it's also just like a singular object that you engage with in whatever the hell way you feel like engaging with it, and there's so much value in that. Yeah, it's cool. It's funny, like, I don't really do much speedrunning, but I think speedrunning helped me feel that way about games. It's like, if I'm playing, like, if I'm digging into the mechanics and learning about something, that's as much a part of the game of Vagrant Story as the actual story of this man and his ass hanging out of his chaps, going on some kind of weird dumb adventure. Yeah, I will never beat that game. I'm not smart enough.
Yeah, that's kind of why, like, I started the JRPG canon as well, because, like, yeah, I might not know why everyone loves character XYZ, but I know why Lufia 2 is visionary, and that's why it's going to be my next one, because, like, I had never heard anyone talk about Lufia 2, but then I played it and I realized that Lufia 2 is Wild Arms 0 and also, like, a bunch of other games, like, spiritual precursor, and...
Lufia 2 is the best goddamn game on the planet. I'll beat it one day.
Yeah, it's like nuts, and I definitely want to go back and play it for real. But it's like I just was like, oh, why not? I've heard Lufia 2 is good, and its GDQ submission was interesting, and then holy shit, it's actually amazing. But like, I want to go back and beat it, but if I don't, it's cool because I played it, so I know it's good.
So here's a fun fact about Lufia 2. Mm-hmm. I just googled Lufia 2 speedruns. The any % no major glitches run has a world record of 3 hours 23 minutes. That's pretty good for an RPG. Pretty good. I mean, both in the sense that that's pretty long. It's a big game, and also, that's pretty good. It's not too long.
That's like the sweet spot for RPG speedruns.
Yeah,
like,
but
3 to 4.
The any % run. This is strange. It's 51 seconds, which sure, it's some sort of crazy glitch, right? But here's the thing: real time is 51 seconds. In-game time is 9 minutes.
What the hell?
Interesting.
I'm gonna have to go watch those.
How is the real time less than the in-game time by a significant margin?
I guess maybe the glitch fucks with the timer.
Or
perhaps.
Or the timer has like certain cutscenes baked in as part of it, and so it's like, oh, well, you can't keep time during the dramatic plot 2 cutscene, so we'll just add 9 minutes to your.
Oh, thing. Right. It's like this cutscene takes 2 minutes, so we literally just have a code to increment your timestamp by 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Maybe so. Who knows?
That actually makes sense, and it's probably the reason. Yeah, but if you look at the regular any % no major glitches, all of those, the real time is just a couple of minutes more than in-game time, which makes sense because there's certain times when in-game time doesn't count, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're, I don't know, resetting the game or something like that. That's just I want to watch this.
I'll probably watch that in between one of these Castlevania blocks that's coming up.
They're finishing up
Castlevania 1, which I'm sad about. I love that game.
It was really good. I was just watching it.
Castlevania, all of them is all of the pre-Symphony Castlevanias are just all of them are perfect video games.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. I've heard that one.
And certainly not Castlevania the Adventure.
Okay.
It's the Castlevania Adventure, I believe.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't care about that game, so.
The WiiWare or the WiiWare remake of it is supposedly like badass though.
That's what I've heard.
I heard that the Castlevania Adventure is actually just what they called it in America, and in Japan it was called Satan Densetsu.
Get away from me.
Come on, that was pretty good.
It was
pretty good.
But yeah, no, Castlevania 1, Castlevania 3 on the NES, Castlevania 4, Super Castlevania 4, Castlevania Bloodstained, Castlevania Bloodlines, and Castlevania Rondo of Blood are all just unimaginably good video games. They make me almost sad.
And Kid Dracula.
So good.
Kid Dracula is
Kid
good.
Dracula. And the second, I forget what its subtitle is, but I think it's Belmont's Revenge. Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge, the second one on the Game Boy, is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I couldn't remember the name of that one because it's so similar to Simon's Quest, Belmont's Revenge. But yes, that I've played a bit of that one too, and it is excellent.
Fun fact about Belmont's Revenge is if you're going to speedrun it, you actually speedrun it on a multi-pack that came out at the end of the Game Boy Color's lifetime, because it runs like 80% faster. Like it's a playable speed game in the multi-pack for some unknown reason. Like
that is really fun.
Because like the Game Boy Color didn't like add any RAM or anything; it just added color, so it shouldn't be that much better, but it is.
So FYI, folks, turns out the best day of the week is Tuesday. Tuesday has Kirby 64,
Nice.
which is a
Love
beautiful game.
The Kirby
Crash
Advanced
Bandicoot.
speedrun yesterday was really good too.
Nice. Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped 80%. Pokemon Crystal 80% glitchless. Zelda Randomizer. Mario Sunshine 80% race. And then finally, Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut, Big the Cat.
Nice.
2 players, 1 controller.
And Resident Evil 2.
And Dive Kick.
Yeah.
And We Love Katamari.
Yeah.
Man,
it's gonna-
Tuesday's a hell of a day.
I'm excited for Pokemon Crystal. I love Pokemon speedruns.
Yeah.
Glitchless Pokemon speedruns. They're so interesting.
yeah. I love
There's
it.
so many numbers.
My very first one I watched was, I think it was Emerald. It might have been Heart Gold. I don't remember. But Kizaron was doing it at RPG Book, not RPG. RPG Limit Break is the correct thing I was trying to say. Wasn't a plug. Though Keys, if you want to come on and do, if you want to do a episode on Pokemon on RPG Book Club, you could. But
Wait, someone's doing Kingdom Hearts 3? Nice.
nice. I want to watch that. But he just was like breaking it down in his beautiful, handsome, charismatic way. I'm like, oh yeah, every time you walk, you change the RNG, and for the DS games, it's based on the in-game timer. So I'm going to go and set the time, and then hopefully I can get into the game within like 65 seconds or something. And it's just like nuts and so cool. I love all the shit.
When are we going to have our first speedrunner president? Which
What-
speedrunner would you vote for president?
I would-
Let's see.
I was about to say, let me double check my history joke before I say it out loud.
Oh,
would
you're
vote for
talking about
Proto.
the one that died real fast.
Yeah.
I'll still let you make the joke.
Oh, I meant the other way around. I meant which speedrunner that exists currently would I, if they ran for president, would I vote for them?
Yeah,
I-
William Henry Harrison. That's who I thought it was.
Oh yeah, he speedran the presidency.
He's definitely
Yeah, absolutely.
speedran the presidency.
I would vote for Proto Magical Girl for president.
I 100%. I think actually, my vote is SpikeVegeta. Like, I love Proto so much, but I feel Spike could actually win.
Yeah, I would definitely vote for SpikeVegeta in a primary because of that thing that the Democrats always talk about, electability. Mm-hmm. Spike is like the sweetest, cuddliest, most charismatic person in the world. He would have that. He would like win the election if he was a candidate. If he ran his third party, he would win.
Yeah.
He would go up on the debate stage and make his goofy, dumb face, and everybody would vote for him. But no, I would also vote for
I feel like Grand Pooh Bear would probably
Yeah,
be a good president.
he's the ninja of speedrunning.
Yeah, and I mean, I like Grand Pooh Bear well enough.
Me too.
But no, oh gosh, who's the person? Gosh darn it, I can't remember their name. They're really great. I really like them as a person. They're total sweeties. They recently they often show up in Metroid runs, racing against other Metroid people such as Oats and Goats and such. Mm-hmm. I like Oats and Goats well enough too. But who's this? What's this person's name? Well, anyway, most Metroid speedrunners are pure souls. So
Speaking of pure souls, so I had my heart broken the other day, and by the other day I mean when I first found out about speedrunning, because the first thing that how you get into speedrunning, this is how you do it. You ask yourself, what the fuck is Maddy talking about on Facebook? And so you Google it, and then you find a YouTube playlist, and you see that there's a Banjo-Kazooie speedrun, and you're like, hell yeah. So you watch it, and Spivety Bobo is running Banjo-Kazooie, and he's doing such a good job, and everything is so cool, and he seems like such a sweetie, and he's explaining so many things, and things are great. So you go and you follow him on Twitch, and he just like reads porn, like he has a Vocaloid that reads porn instead of interacting with his chat and stuff, and I'm just like, that's weird. I don't want this.
huh?
Yeah.
Well, if you've watched a Banjo-Kazooie speedrun, you've already gone deaf, so...
I still like will die on the hill that y'all are insane. There's nothing wrong with the chord progressions in that fucking game.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about it's a Banjo-Kazooie speedrun just from like the Kazooie sounds and stuff. It's just an absolute cacophony.
Yeah.
It's so.
That's true. That's true. With all my dunking on the music, I underplay the fact the degree to which the entire game is an aural nightmare.
Yeah, but it's great.
and a visual wonder.
Anyway, I think we should start wrapping this up because I threw my back out yesterday and I think I've reached the limit of sitting upright.
That sucks. That sucks so bad, man. I'm so sorry. Yeah, now I was just thinking, we can talk about speedruns all day, but we talked about speedruns enough. I feel like, I'm so sorry. What is it? Okay, this is a dumb question, but what exactly does it mean to throw out one's back?
Well, I Googled it because I was like, I think I just threw my back out. It just means, like, your lower back starts hurting really bad for no reason.
Yeah.
Basically.
Huh. Did you, like, is it because, what's the cause? Is it, like, you overextended a muscle or something?
It can be various things. It's not like a medical term.
Oh my god.
Gotcha.
We need to go and donate to right now because there's a SpikeVegeta amiibo is one of the things you can win at GDQ.
Dude,
oh my goodness.
Custom amiibos is one of those scenes that I have, I don't follow it. I've never bought a custom amiibo, but I think it's such a sweet thing. It's like, what if we all just put our heart and soul behind making statues? We already make statues, but we're making statues a very specific way.
Yeah.
For no particular reason. What's the base of it? Do you know?
It looks like Mario, but he's kind of tall, so it might have been a Luigi. I didn't.
Oh no! I mean, like if you were to put him on your Wii U console, what would it scan as?
I have it muted, so I couldn't tell you. But
Gotcha.
I would guess it would be Mario or something because of it. It looks like the base, and they probably just plugged it up. But
that's awesome.
Because Sora doesn't have an amiibo yet, so wouldn't it be Kingdom Hearts? And Crash doesn't have amiibos, and those are the two things that he runs the most.
Vegeta is kind of like Goku, so they should do it with the Luminary.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Anyway, let's get out of here. Bernard, do what you got to do with your back, man.
Yeah.
All right.
And I will make sure that I play Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you promise? So next time.
Yeah. By the next time I'm on here, I will play
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Awesome. I believe you. I definitely believe you. All right.
I will probably have played a Resident Evil at least. I might play Revelations on my 3DS.
You should do the classic Sam thing and play like the most obscure possible spin-off instead of an actual game, and like it's good or it sucks.
I'll play Resident Evil Gaiden for the Game Boy Color, and I'll tell you how it is.
Exactly.
Sounds good.
Exactly. Do it. All right. Bye, Sam. Bye, Bernard. Bye, Bernard's back. And bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye. I'm going to go lay down.